Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Black Clover. Last time around we had Wounded Beasts, where basically the evil backup arrived and cornered Asta and Leopold and Noel. Luckily the Magic Knights were able to come in. They finally made it back to the city, but the evil bad guys got away and they took Asta with them. And when they arrived back at their base, they were met by the Wizard King, who is not evil. In fact, he is so awesome, and he just beat the crap out of all of them and saved Asta. But then there was an encounter. It seemed their master had arrived to face the Wizard King himself. He better be that good. He better be that friggin' good, so... Maybe if the Wizard King has time magic, maybe... Well, there already is spatial magic users, so... I don't know. Could you have a space, like you have time and space, like they're kind of opposites? That could be kind of interesting. I don't know. Well, it'd probably be better if we just watched the episode and found out. So, like always, the reaction is down in the description in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Black Clover. Here we go. Alrighty. That basically wraps up that arc. Whew, boy. Now, it's interesting that... It's interesting with the power set of the villain, who we don't really have a name for, so... I don't know, I guess we can just call him the Master, but... I don't know. Because of another show that I've been watching for 7 years now, it's a bit difficult to call a different character the Master, so you understand, I think. I don't know. But anyway. Boss Man. We'll call him Boss Man, I guess. Boss Man Frank. Yeah. So, Boss Man Frank's power is light. Now, it's interesting because it's like... It's light, but he said it's like, oh, it's faster than like my time powers, and it's like, but it's weird because you would think, I don't know, if we're thinking about like actual light, it's like, well, but I don't know, like light, there is a set speed of it specifically. Light does not travel any faster or any slower than the exact speed that it is, you know? And to travel faster than the speed of light is to be traveling in time, in a sense, you know? Don't quote me on any of this, I'm not a friggin' scientist, you know? But, I don't know, it's an interesting thing that he has light magic. Like the original Wizard King. Huh. I mean, he doesn't look anything like the original Wizard King, so... And there's plenty of people we've seen that have multiple people will have very similar magic. I mean, look at all the Silvas have water magic, at the very least, and we've seen other people with water magic. So, I mean, we don't know what time and light magic fall under anyway. You know, like, they talk about the 4 fundamental types, and then everything kind of branches out from there. But we don't know what time and light and spatial magic do, you know? Like, we don't know what they fall under or if they fall above, you know? But I'm gonna assume he's not the original Wizard King. Maybe he's like a descendant? We haven't heard about anything like that. I mean, the only Wizard Kings we've seen really are Julius, who we've seen, you know, in the present day, and we only see flashes of the original Wizard King when he defeated the demon. That's another question. Are we gonna get demons in this show? Like, that was a whole big thing. I mean, I guess they were defeated. I guess they were defeated by the original Wizard King, but still. I don't know, maybe he's a descendant. This is like the... was it the Redestro in My Hero Academia? is like, I'm a descendant of the original guy that did all the thing 200 years ago when Quirk started, or whatever the plot was during that. I don't know, maybe that could be kind of interesting. But why? But if that was the case, if he was a descendant of the original Wizard King, like, what would... I mean, we still don't know the motive. Like, what is the revenge, you know? I mean, if anything, your ancestor is celebrated. He's the original Wizard King. But, I don't know. That would be really interesting, though, if they did that. And I know I've said, like, I don't want there to be, like... I don't want there to be this, you know... I don't want there to be this, like, underlying, like, well, we told you about the, you know, utopia or the great people, you know, we told you about all the great people, and now we're just gonna rip it all away from you or whatever. I don't know how to explain that fast, but you know what I mean. I'm so happy that Julius is such a great guy, you know, he's such a freaking Giga Chad. And he's just a very good person, but I don't know, like, could they do that? But, like... Why? Why would the original Wizard King... How would the original Wizard King foster that, you know? Like, that could be kind of interesting. Mainly just because of the opposition of... If the original Wizard King had something shady going on, but the current Wizard King didn't. Like, that would actually be kind of interesting, because you don't see that, you know? It's either both are good... or both are bad, basically, you know, or the original was good, but now the one in the present day is bad. But I don't know. I feel like you don't see that very often of, like, no, the original thing was bad, but the current version of it is good. That would be interesting. That would be kind of interesting. You know? I don't know. That's an interesting idea, but I don't know if they're going for that. But, I mean, at the very least, yeah, he does have similar powers to the original Wizard King. So, we don't know. We'll have to find out. We got, like, what, 150 episodes to go? So, we got a while. They're not even done. They're not even done with this show yet, so we got a while. I'm also curious if... I don't know, but I'm curious if this entire show is going to be about dealing with the Bossman Frank, or if this is just the first, you know, big arc, and then we're going to move on to another big arc, you know? Like, you know, this may be at the end of episode 80 or something. We're going to be like, all right, we've defeated Bossman Frank. Oh no, here's Bossman Frank 2, and we have to go deal with that for another 80 episodes, you know? I don't know. Like, because of the fact that we have so many episodes to go through, and I'm pretty sure they're not even done with the show, I'm just like, I have no idea what we're doing now, you know? Because it's not like with like Full Metal Alchemist, which was a set 64 episodes. It was which is hilarious to call that a short story, but 64 episodes, you know, you get in, you get out, it's all nice and good. You know, by this time, by episode 27 of Full Metal Alchemist, we had learned a lot about the world, but we were still going. We still had so much more to do, you know? So, I don't know. It's interesting stuff, definitely. But yeah, we also saw. I do like, though, that Bossman Frank actually did get hit by one of Julius's attacks. So he got hit by time acceleration, so his arm like withered away, basically, which is interesting. I like. I mean, he just has time powers, you know. It's like every final boss stand from JoJo. You know, I'm sure he has time rewind. He probably has time skip. He has the time acceleration. He has time stop. That's just incredible. You know, it's always something with time. That was always such a weird thing. Like, why does it always have to be time with JoJo? But whatever. That's a different topic and a different show entirely. So it doesn't matter. And I also like that the boss man Frank was like, it doesn't matter what they will or will not tell them, I'm going to save my people. And it's like, that's interesting. I mean, the way they say it, it's like they want to get revenge on the Clover Kingdom and then build a country of their own where they can live in peace. And that's interesting. That's very interesting, and I'm curious to see more of that, I'm curious to see more of that, because it's like, again, I mean, we just don't know anything about them, but yeah, I mean, Boss Man Frank, he's pretty... He's interesting. He genuinely, I don't know, he's a good guy, quote unquote. He's good to his own people, at least, which is interesting. But I don't know. It's very fascinating. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see more with him. We should also go ahead and say that in about 35 episodes, we're going to be nostalgic for the days when I called him Boss Man Frank, because that happened. That happens. I remember the early days of My Hero Academia where we had Too Many Hands Man and the well-dressed man with a phantom head. And that's what we called them before we learned their names, Shigaraki and Kurogiri. Also in Demon Slayer, when we had Boarman Frank. This is all a Sharkman Frank reference, by the way. Rest in peace. God rest his soul. But we had Boarman Frank, who eventually became Inosuke. So let's just all remember. Let's just all savor the moment of me calling him Bossman Frank. So it's unfortunate that I couldn't come up with a better name since I've already used Blank Man Frank in a previous series. But oh well. But yeah, now we got to get stronger. We all got to get stronger. I love, he didn't mean for that to be as strong as it was. He's just like, I was just going to send some wind over and, and flip you off and just like, but no, he sent an entire too powerful bird, but he's gotten stronger, but that's because he has the wind spirit. He's got the wind spirit. He understands her now. Belle, as he called her in the Petite Clover, but we don't know if that's actually what he calls her or not. So, but they all need to get stronger. Asta, Mimosa, Noelle, Leopold, everyone's got to get stronger. Everyone's got to get stronger. I even like the other Magic Knights are like, man, I felt so useless. I can't do that again. And they're like, yeah, we gotta get stronger. And credit to Nozel, where he's like, this was pathetic. This should not have happened. And I am a failure for letting this happen. This entire thing was a giant embarrassment to him. And so now he has to redeem himself. And I like that he says, he will murder whoever did this to Fuegoleon. So again, it's like we talked about. I don't know if it was last time or I guess it was last time, but with Nozel, it's a very logical approach. It's a very logical approach of weak and strong. Now he looks at all this and he's like, I should have been able to prevent this. This is my failure, and I won't let it happen again. But he will also look at Noelle and be like, you are weak, therefore I do not acknowledge you. You are nothing. That's it. It's just a very cut and dry. It's what you are in this moment. Where Fuegoleon, again, like we said, and he did this. We literally saw this. He looked at Noelle and was like, you are weak. Why are you gay? No, you are weak. So get stronger, Like, he sees the potential. He sees the big picture. Nozel is very focused in the here and now. And that hyper-logical mind of his does not let him acknowledge anyone else. So it's an interesting thing. I'm glad that he's a bit more layered than just being a dick. His siblings are not. His little brother and his little sister are not layered whatsoever. I doubt they will be layered, and I don't frankly care if they are layered. But at least there's something with Nozel. So my, my initial knee-jerk reaction to them is slightly lessened now, Only slightly, and only at Nozel, really. The other two, I'm sure, they're Cersei and Jaime somewhere else, For Nozel, I think he's like, well, yeah, he's got a very narrow field of view, basically, very narrow field of view, and he's hyper logical about things. So at least I understand why he's a dick. The other two, again, Cersei and Jaime, they're just gonna go do that somewhere else. So if it actually comes out that they are doing that, they are like those two are like Cersei and Jaime, then I don't want to. I'm not going to be happy that I called it. I'm just going to be disappointed. Anyway, what were we saying? Things. Yeah. And then I like too at the end that Asta has moved up a rank, which is pretty cool. Asta has moved up a rank. I love that Luck and Magna just have never moved up a rank, so they never knew what that was. And it's like, oh, guys, you gotta get better. You gotta start doing stuff, man. But that was funny. But yeah, that is pretty much that. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Black Clover reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.